Good day, everyone. We are the Group 1. Before we dive into our activity, let us have the recap of the lessons we've discussed last meeting. We've discussed three topics, which includes first, nature and purpose of listening, second, active listening skill, and the third, listening comprehension and sub-skills. Under the nature and purpose of listening, we have the term listening, which means an active and intentional process of receiving, interpreting, and responding to spoken or nonverbal messages requiring focus, comprehension, and empathy. So, under nature of listening, we have there four: first, active and constructive; second, purpose driven; third, interactive; and fourth, cognitive and affective. Next, we have the purpose of listening. First, to gain information. Second, to evaluate. Third, to build relationships. Fourth, prospering through communication. And fifth, to be inspired or entertained. The second part of our discussion, we have active listening skill. We have there the term active listening and its meanings. Next, we have there the key techniques. We have 8 key techniques. First, be fully present. Second, avoid distractions. Third, use supportive nonverbal cues. Fourth, paraphrase. Fifth, recall previously shared information. Sixth, ask open ended questions. Seventh, be empathetic and validate. And eighth, share similar experiences. The last part of our discussion is listening comprehension and sub-skills. We have there the term listening comprehension and its meanings. Next, we have their sub-skills, 3 sub-skills. First, listening for gist. Second, listening for specific information. Third, listening in detail. And the last, types of listening practice. We have there two: extensive listening and intensive listening. That's it for our discussion. Now let's move on to activity time.
Alright. So what is listening, Nicholas? Yes, correct. Listening is active and intentional process of receiving and interpreting and responding a message, whether it's spoken or nonverbal. So now that we already know the nature and the purpose of listening, this time you will be exhibiting a active listening through a short role play. So for the instruction, I will group you into 4 groups, and each group will create a short role play in 3 to 5 minutes, showing a real life situation where active listening is needed. So these are the example situation: a student asking for advice from a friend, a teacher giving important instruction, a classmate sharing a personal problem, a parent reminding a child about responsibilities. So each role play must show both passive listening and active listening. So it must highlight at least 3 techniques of active listening during the presentation. The class is given 10 to 15 minutes to prepare their role play. So one group at a time will present their role play in front of class, and after each presentation, audience will identify what active listening techniques they observe. So for the criteria, content of the presentation, clarity and relevance, 20 points, demonstration of active listening techniques, 10 points, organization and teamwork, 10 points, delivery or performance, 10 points. So in a total of 50 points. Okay, good job class. So give yourself a round of applause.
Okay, so now everyone, let's check your understanding. Okay, so please get one half crosswise paper. Okay, so now let's have test one first. So it's multiple choice. Write the letter and words. Okay, so I want you to answer each number for only 1 minute. Okay? Okay, that's great. So let's have number one first. Okay, number one. These are parts of active listening techniques, except A. Boring. B. Avoiding distraction. C. Use supportive nonverbal. Or D. Ask open ended questions. A. Boring. B. Avoiding distraction. C. Use supportive nonverbal. Or D. Ask open ended questions. Okay, so now let's have number two. Okay, so it is one sided act of listening to a speaker without retaining their message. A. Active listening. B. Selecting listening. C. passive listening, or D, both A and B? Again, A, active listening, B, selecting listening, or C, passive listening, or D, both A and B. Okay, so now let's have number 3. A soft skill that requires you to focus on a speaker completely, reflects on what is being said, respond thoughtfully, and retain information. Okay, so is it A, active listening, B, selecting listening, C, passive listening, or D, both A and B? Again, active listening, B, selecting listening, C, passive listening, or D, both A and B? Okay, so now let's have number 4. There are blank subskills of listening. A, 2, B, 3, C, 4, D, 5. Again, A, 2, B, 3, C, 4, D, 5. Okay, so now let's have number 5. Okay, so it is defined as the ability to receive, understand, interpret, and respond to both verbal and non-verbal communication. A, active listening, B, passive listening, C, selecting listening, or letter D, listening comprehension. Again, A, active listening, B, passive listening, or C, selecting listening, or D, listening comprehension. Okay, so now let's have number 6. Subskills of listenings were to focuses on particular details like names, numbers, or facts. A, listening for gist. B, listening in detail. C, listening for specific. Or letter D, none of the above. Okay, so let's have A, listening for gist. B, listening in detail. Or letter C, listening for specific information. Or D, none of the above. Okay, so now let's have test 2. Okay, so for the test 2, it's true or false. Okay, so the instruction here is write true if the statement is correct and false if it's not. Okay, so for number 7, okay, let's have number 7. The main goal of active listening is to allow a speaker to feel comfortable and safe enough to share their thoughts. Again, the main goal of active listening is to allow a speaker to feel comfortable and safe enough to share their thoughts. Okay, for number 8, you should also limit distracting movements like glancing at your watch or phone, audibly sighing, doodling, or tapping a pen. Number 8, you should also limit distracting movement like glancing at your watch or phone, audibly sighing, doodling, or tapping a pen. Okay, have number 9. Listening comprehension. It is the ability to distract a reader based on the information they gathered. Again, listening comprehension. It is the ability to distract a reader based on the information they gathered. Is it true or false? Okay, so now let's have number 10. Passive listening is soft skill that requires you to focus on a speaker completely, reflects on what is being said, respond thoughtfully, and retain information. Again, passive listening is soft skill that requires you to focus on a speaker completely, reflects on what is being said, respond thoughtfully, and retain information. Okay, so pens up. Finish or not finish? Okay, please pass your paper, everyone. Okay, so now, before we end up this topic, okay, this day, okay, so I want you to have your assignments. So, search and answer the following questions in 2 to 4 sentences in a short bond paper. Okay, for the question number 1, why is active listening important in communication? Okay. For number two, define listening technique and give the example. Okay. Number three, how does note taking as a listening technique help student? Okay. Number four, define listening strategy and give one example. Okay. So number six, five. Sorry. How can you use active listening techniques and strategy in your daily life, whether it's school, home, or friends? Okay. Okay, thank you so much, everyone. Okay, so let's call it a day. Let's call it a day. Okay, so thank you so much and have a great day. I hope you learn. I hope you enjoy, and see you next time, everyone. Bye bye.